This is the Daily Forex Report for September 5th. We are looking at the U.S. Japanese yen pair. This particular pair closed up on Friday, had a very large tail on it to the upside. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways. Look for it to potentially go as high as 85.65, possibly as low as 83.50. Look for some resistance around 85.25 and look for some support around 83.75. Okay, now we're looking at the U.S. Japanese yen, or the Euro USD rather. This pair moved higher, almost closed on its highs, basically came right in line with previous areas of resistance, looking for it to break out to the upside. If it does break, say this high, we could see it go even higher. However, look for it to potentially go as high as 129.72, possibly as low as 127.25. Look for some resistance around 129.25 and look for some support around 128.05. Okay, now the pound US dollar pair. This pair moved higher, did gap a little bit at the open, is starting to retrace. This pair is moving sideways overall, so definitely look for it to continue that. Possibly moving up to 155.46, possibly down to 152.94. Look for some resistance around 154.95 and look for some support around 153.69. Okay, now the U.S. Swiss. This pair closed higher on Friday. Overall moving sideways, at least for the past few days, biased to the downside still. Look for it to potentially go as high as 1.0299, possibly as low as 10052. Look for some resistance around 10219 and look for some support around 10093. Now, as far as what I'm looking at during the next couple of sessions, well, before we get to that, we don't have any significant news being released tomorrow. Tomorrow is the U.S. holiday, fairly quiet as far as the news. Look for during this next session for the market to move sideways, as we're going to be missing the U.S. market, the volume there. So I don't anticipate us seeing too much volume. Now, if you look at the U.S. Japanese yen pair, we've come down to this area a couple of times historically, especially if you back out on the week or even the month. You can see that we've been in this area before, and I do believe we're hitting some serious support at this level. So let's zoom back in, take a look at what that means. We have an area, basically you can draw a trend line here, draw several trend lines, but here's one of the more significant ones. You can look at this level. It's an area of support and resistance previous, and we have some others here that we could look at as well. Basically look for a break above this area of what is support here and here, resistance here and here. Look to buy basically at the 84.85 area. Look for it to come up to this trend line. We could see some resistance at that point, most likely. We'll see it also potentially around the 85.21 area, and then look for it to run up, if it does, up into this area of previous support and resistance, the sideways market that we saw during that time, potentially running up to the 85.71 area. All in all, you could look to pull roughly about 100 pips out of this. If it goes, you have several areas of support and resistance to move to break even and to trail your stop. So definitely potential there. Something else that I'm looking at is the pound US dollar pair, looking for a fib retracement. We've had, we're in an area previous support here. So we have support in this area. If we do get a pullback from this move to the downside, we could potentially look to grab a few pips, and let me show you exactly what that looks like. Basically, if we have a strong move to the upside, we look to buy right here and then look to exit right about here. So we have a potential to grab several pips, roughly 100 pips there from this point up to this point. If it doesn't happen all in one session, you can use this 50 mark and just look for it to hit that and exit at that point if it goes up, but not quite there. Well, that about does it for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.